Did you know some R&B stars burned brighter than anyone, only to vanish after a single unforgettable hit? One moment they were everywhere, blasting through car speakers, topping charts, dominating BET countdowns, and the next, silence. From Sunshine Anderson, who's heard it all before, still lives on every throwback playlist, to Anita Ward, who lit the world on fire with Ring My Bell before disappearing from the spotlight. These artists left a mark far bigger than their time in fame. Here are the R&B one-hit wonders the world forgot until now. Number 1, Johnny Kemp. Before Just Got Paid lit up 1988, Johnny Kemp had spent years pushing quietly through the music industry. Born in the Bahamas, he was a singer, songwriter, and producer whose career began long before the world heard his breakout hit. His professional journey started in 1979, when he wrote songs for other artists while building connections behind the studio doors. In the early 1980s, Johnny worked as a session vocalist and background singer, lending his voice to groups such as the BB&Q Band and Change. He even co-wrote several tracks for their albums. In 1984, he stepped slightly closer to center stage by singing lead on a track called Cover Girl, a song he later re-recorded for himself. Everything changed in 1986 when Johnny signed a deal with Columbia Records and released his first solo project. The album didn't dominate the charts, but it definitely got attention. One of its tracks, Just Another Lover, reached number 14 on the R&B charts, giving him his first real taste of recognition. But the real breakthrough came a year later. In 1987, Johnny released his second album, Secrets of Flying, which delivered two major hits, Dancin' With Myself and the iconic Just Got Paid. That second song became the defining moment of his career. It shot to number 1 on the US R&B charts and climbed to number 10 on the Billboard Hot 100. The single went gold, selling more than 1 million copies and becoming a Friday night anthem in clubs, on radio stations, and at parties everywhere. In 1989, he returned with Birthday Suit from the movie Sing, which peaked at number 36 on the Hot 100. He later released a new version of Cover Girl, though it failed to chart, marking his final official single. During the 1990s, Johnny took a different musical path. He and Sherry Goffin Condor, daughter of Carole King, became the lead vocalists for the children's cover group Sugar Beats. He also appeared on Keith Sweat's Sweat Hotel Live DVD, performing alongside New Jack Swing pioneers like Teddy Riley in a nostalgic reunion of late 80s R&B legends. Number 2, Oran Juice Jones. Before R&B fans ever heard the haunting opening of The Rain in 1986, Oran Juice Jones had already lived an extraordinary life. Long before fame found him, Oran was shaped by discipline, structure, and military precision. He graduated from the United States Naval Academy in 1981 and went on to serve as a sniper officer in the Marine Corps, a path far removed from the music stages he would later command. But deep inside, music kept calling. After leaving the military, he made the bold decision to chase his artistic dream. That leap placed him in a historic position. He became the first artist ever signed to OBR Records, a sub-label of the legendary Def Jam. Suddenly, a new chapter began. In 1986, Oran released his debut album Juice, and hidden within it was the song that would define his entire career. The Rain, moody, cinematic, and emotionally charged, told the story of a man confronting an unfaithful partner. Listeners were grabbed instantly by the storytelling and the signature spoken word outro, written by Vincent Bell. The song exploded. It reached number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100, spent 2 weeks at number 1 on the US R&B chart, and pushed its way to number 4 in the UK. Its impact was so strong that it earned Oran a Grammy nomination for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance in 1987. He followed the success with a duet titled How to Love Again, featuring Allison Williams, but nothing he released afterward matched the phenomenon created by The Rain. Oren went on to record 2 more albums, though neither found commercial traction. In the late 1990s, he briefly caught attention again through unexpected collaborations with adult film performer turned singer Midori. They recorded a duet of Let's Stay Together for his 1997 album Player's Call, and he made another appearance on her track 5, 10, 15 for the project Porn to Rock. When these projects failed to revive his career, Oren quietly walked away from the industry. His final album and last single were released in 1997, and from that point on, he chose to disappear from public view. Number 3, Silento. Before he became a global viral sensation, Silento was just a high school kid chasing a dream. Ironically, everything began the moment he lost a school talent show. Instead of letting the defeat crush him, it lit a fire in him. Determined to prove himself, he went home and focused on building something new. In January 2015, he uploaded a playful track to SoundCloud under the name Silento, a song built around the dances everyone loved at the time: the whip, the nay-nay, the stanky leg, and the Superman. That song was Watch Me Whip Nay-Nay. With no industry backing, he became his own promoter. He shared it non-stop across Instagram and SoundCloud and performed it anywhere people would listen: birthday parties, school events, even local skating rinks. Everything changed when he connected with Gazeon, a popular YouTube dance network. They encouraged thousands of dancers to post videos using the hashtag #WatchMeDanceOn. Soon YouTube and Vine were flooded with clips. The dance craze exploded, and so did the song. By June 2015, Watch Me had taken over the world. It climbed to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and stayed on the chart for more than a year. It sold millions, earned a 6x platinum certification, and even hit number 1 on the Billboard R&B/hip hop chart that September. The viral success landed Silento a major record deal with Capitol Records. One of the biggest moments of his life came that same summer, when he performed Watch Me on Good Morning America. It was the kind of moment he once believed he would never reach. By the end of 2015, the music video had passed 500 million views. By 2025, it had nearly 2 billion, becoming one of YouTube's most watched videos ever. But the massive hit became a shadow he could never escape. Silento released his debut album fresh out of high school in 2018, then another project 5 months later. Critics said the music felt like watching someone slowly unravel. Then came the tragedy. In 2021, Silento was arrested and charged with killing his cousin, a case that shocked the world. His own grandparents urged the judge to deny bail, and just like that, the career born from a viral victory came to a heartbreaking end. Number 4, PRU. Before the world heard Candles, Prudence's Renfro, later known simply as Prue, was a young woman who breathed poetry. She discovered her love for words in high school and continued shaping that passion at Texas Southern University, where writing became both an escape and a calling. She often blended her lyrics with music from artists she admired, including Michael Jackson, Sad, Rachelle Ferrell, the hip-hop group Naughty by Nature, the legendary Isley Brothers, and jazz icon Miles Davis. During this period, Prue performed in local bars while bartending to support herself. Eventually, she made a bold move, relocating to Los Angeles to chase a real future in music. That's where she embraced the name Prue and began carving her identity as an artist. Her turning point arrived when record executive Roy Lott discovered her. Impressed by her unique voice and poetic writing, he helped her connect with producer Jack Ponte and his team at Dog Management. Together, they crafted a demo that eventually secured Prue a deal with Capitol Records. Her self-titled debut album, Prue, was released on November 7, 2000. It reached number 176 on the Billboard 200 and remained for 2 weeks. On the R&B chart, it performed far better, climbing to number 38 and staying an impressive 32 weeks. Two singles emerged from the album, Candles and Aroma of a Man. Candles became the standout, peaking at number 68 on the Hot R&B/hip-hop songs chart and lasting 14 weeks. It also reached number 65 on the Airplay chart, staying for 10 weeks. Though Prue never became a mainstream star, her music resonated deeply with listeners who connected to her emotion, honesty, and poetic soul. Number 5. Ghost Town DJs. In 1996, a smooth, bass-heavy track called My Boo unexpectedly carved its name into music history. Behind it was Ghost Town DJs, a hip-hop and Miami bass collective from Atlanta made up of DJ Demp, Rodney Terry, Greg Street, and K.O. The group began as the brainchild of Rodney Terry, who wanted to revive the electrifying Miami bass sound of the 1980s and introduce it to a new wave of listeners. Originally, singer Akima Johnson was meant to record the lead vocals for the song, but when a scheduling conflict pulled her away at the last minute, another vocalist, Virgo Williams, stepped in. Her voice became the signature sound fans would come to recognize worldwide. In 1996, the group released My Boo through So So Def in partnership with Columbia Records, blending floaty R&B vocals with deep Miami bass. The track stood out immediately. Strangely, despite releasing 2 albums that same year, the group never included My Boo on either project, a rare move that only adds to the song's mystique. When it debuted, My Boo became a quiet but respectable hit, reaching number 31 on the Billboard Hot 100 and soaring to number 3 in New Zealand. After that, it slowly slipped into the background, remembered fondly but not prominently. Then, 2 decades later, fate stepped in. In 2016, the Running Man Challenge, a viral dance craze on social media, suddenly resurrected the song. Clips of teens, athletes, and celebrities dancing to My Boo flooded the internet. The wave was so massive that the track re-entered the charts, and this time climbed even higher, peaking at number 27 on the Hot 100 and reaching number 10 on the R&B chart. In 2022, the song received long overdue recognition when Rolling Stone placed it at number 101 on their list of the 200 greatest dance songs of all time. My Boo wasn't just a hit, it became a timeless cultural comeback. Number 6. Joyce Sims. In the mid-1980s, the music world was introduced to a rising voice, Joyce Sims, an American singer-songwriter whose blend of R&B and dance music quickly earned international attention. Her breakthrough arrived in 1986 when she signed with the independent label Sleeping Bag Records, a home known for bold, innovative artists. That same year, Joyce released her debut single, You Are My All in All, produced by the influential DJ and producer Curtis Mantronic. The track connected instantly with listeners. In the UK, it climbed to number 16 on the singles chart, while in the US it hit number 6 on the dance chart, marking her as an artist to watch. But the defining moment of her career came 2 years later. In 1988, she released Come Into My Life, again produced by Mantronic, a song that would become her signature. It reached number 10 on the US R&B chart and number 7 in the UK, making it the highest charting single she ever released, and expanding her fan base across the Atlantic. The success of her singles helped her debut album, also titled Come Into My Life, gain strong traction. It rose to number 22 on the US R&B albums chart, and an impressive number 5 on the UK albums chart. In 1989, she returned with her second album, All About Love. Although it didn't match the success of her first project, it still charted, landing at number 64 in the UK. As the years went on, Joyce's music no longer appeared on major charts, but she never stopped creating. In 1994, she released Who's Crying Now under Warlock Records, which had taken over Sleeping Bag Records after it shut down. In 2006, she shared a new single, What the World Needs Now Is Love, from her album A New Beginning. 3 years later, she founded her own label, August Rose Records, giving herself full creative freedom. Her passion remained strong. In 2014, she released Love Song, a new album featuring a duet with reggae star Maxi Priest. Although the album didn't chart, it proved that Joyce Sims never stopped following the music that shaped her life. Number 7. Jimmy Cozier. Before the world ever heard his smooth vocals on She's All I Got, Jimmy Cozier was just a kid with a gift. His love for music started early, long before studios and record labels entered the picture. At family gatherings, relatives would nudge him to sing, and those small living room performances slowly shaped the confidence and talent that would follow him into adulthood. Before taking his place in the spotlight, Jimmy spent years working behind the scenes. He wrote songs for major artists including Mia, Chico DeBarge, O'Connor, and even pop superstar Janet Jackson, helping co-write her track Girlfriend's Boyfriend. He also provided background vocals on Backstabbers by Lil' Kim and Junior Mafia, and later joined Joe on tour during the promotion of Joe's hit album All That I Am. Jimmy's life changed when his manager Jacon shared his music with Wyclef Jean. Wyclef was immediately impressed and introduced him to legendary record executive Clive Davis. That meeting led to a signing with J Records in 2000, the turning point Jimmy had been working toward. In 2001, everything came together with the release of his debut single, She's All I Got. The song became a breakout hit, reaching number 26 on the Billboard Hot 100 and climbing to number 4 on the R&B chart. Riding the momentum, Jimmy released his self-titled debut album on July 9, 2001. The album reached number 165 on the Billboard 200 and number 15 on the R&B albums chart, solidifying him as one of the promising new voices of that year. His follow-up single, So Much to Lose, didn't perform as well, peaking at number 123 on the R&B chart, but Jimmy stayed active. Around that time, he collaborated with fellow J Records artists, singing on Alicia Keys' debut album Songs in a Minor, on the track Mr. Man, which he also co-wrote, and appearing on Olivia's record Turn Around. Eventually, Jimmy's name faded from the charts, but he didn't fade from music. Instead, he shifted back into songwriting, crafting material for artists like Chris Brown, Olivia, and Cherry Dennis. When J Records shut down, he launched his own label, Cozy Music Inc., where he continued releasing music, even if the projects didn't find commercial success. If you're enjoying this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, this is the perfect time. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more stories. Number 8. Truth Hurts. Before her name hit the charts in bold letters, Shari Watson, better known as Truth Hurts, was quietly building her foundation in music. Her big leap forward came in 2000 when she signed with Aftermath Entertainment, the powerhouse label founded by Dr. Dre. Long before releasing her own songs, she was already working behind the scenes, offering her voice as a background vocalist. In 2001, she appeared on the explosive single Break Ya Neck by Busta Rhymes and also sang on Nasty Mind by the rap group D12. Then came 2002, the year everything changed. She dropped her debut album Truthfully Speaking, backed by production from some of music's biggest forces, including Timbaland, High Tech, and DJ Quick. Its lead single, Addictive, became her breakthrough moment, featuring a verse from the legendary Rakim, and built on a mesmerizing Hindi sample. The song quickly climbed to number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. In Europe, it performed even better, going gold in France, Belgium, and Switzerland. But success came with complications. The Hindi sample sparked a massive $500 million lawsuit against Aftermath. Even so, Addictive turned Truth Hurts into one of the most talked about new artists of the year. Riding that momentum, she joined the Smokin' Grooves tour, sharing the stage with icons like Lauryn Hill, Outkast, CeeLo Green, The Roots, Jurassic 5, and Erykah Badu. But after the storm of attention, things began to slow down. Her next single, The Truth, written by R. Kelly, failed to gain traction on radio and TV. In the years that followed, she made occasional appearances, singing on Jay-Z's The Watcher 2, joining Eve on What, and recording a track with John Frusciante in 2011, though it never made the final cut of his album. Number 9. Blue Cantrell. Before she exploded onto the charts in the early 2000s, Blue Cantrell spent years quietly sharpening her craft behind the scenes. In the late 1990s, she worked as a background vocalist for several well-known artists, including hip-hop mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs. Her talent soon caught more attention, and in 1999, she joined a girl group called 8th Avenue, mentored by legendary producer Teddy Riley. That experience helped her develop confidence, stage presence, and vocal precision, all of which prepared her for her breakthrough moment. That moment arrived in 2001 when she released her debut single, Hit 'Em Up Style. Oops! The track was bold, catchy, and instantly addictive. It became a massive hit, soaring to number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and reaching number 1 on the US mainstream Top 40 chart. The single also performed strongly overseas and anchored her debut album So Blue, turning Blue into one of the most talked-about newcomers of the year. Thanks to the song's huge success, she earned a Grammy nomination in 2002, a major milestone for a brand new artist. She kept the momentum going with her second album, Bittersweet, released in 2003. This project featured what would become her biggest global hit, Breathe, a collaboration with dancehall superstar Sean Paul. Written and produced by Ivan Matthias, Breathe dominated the UK singles chart, holding the number 1 spot for 4 consecutive weeks. It also topped charts in Ireland and ranked in the top 10 across Europe. The single became one of the biggest songs of the year, significantly boosting the album's international success. But after several high-flying years, Blue's career took a surprising turn. In 2005, her contract neared renewal. Although she had the option to remain with her label, she chose to step away after her mentor L.A. Reid left the company. Following that decision, she disappeared from the music scene and stopped releasing new work. In 2013, she announced that she was creating a new album independently. Yet despite the excitement, no new music has emerged, leaving Blue Cantrell remembered most for the powerful run she had in the early 2000s. Number 10. Mona Lisa. Before the world knew her as Mona Lisa, Kimberly Ledbetter was a young girl whose voice first bloomed inside a small church in Union, South Carolina. Growing up in Yonkers, New York, she carried that passion with her, entering talent shows and winning so many that people began to notice. Her biggest early moment came at the legendary Apollo Theater, where she impressed the crowd with the kind of confidence rarely seen in someone her age. At just 15, Kimberly's life changed when she crossed paths with Hiram Hicks, then CEO of Island Black Music under Island Records. She performed His Eye is on the Sparrow for him. No instruments, no studio tricks, just her raw voice. He was stunned. Soon after, she signed her first recording deal and adopted the stage name Mona Lisa. Her debut single, Can't Be Wasting My Time, introduced her to the national stage. It reached number 65 on the Billboard Hot 100 and performed even better on both the R&B and dance charts. Later that year, she released her debut album November 20th, 79, followed by the single You Said. Although her vocals remained strong, the song's heavy subject matter didn't resonate with fans or radio programmers, and it struggled to gain traction. Her next single, Peach, was intended to launch her second album Getting It On, but the song received no airplay and quickly faded from the spotlight. Rather than chasing a music industry that wasn't embracing her, Mona Lisa took control of her future. She returned to school, explored modeling, and began writing, building a life beyond fame. But she never fully walked away from music. In 2004, she resurfaced, appearing on Girls by Cameron, 3 years later, she returned again, this time collaborating with rapper Sonya Blade on the track Get At Me. Number 11. Eden Set's Crush. Before they ever stepped on stage, Eden's Crush was already a phenomenon in the making. The group was born in a way no other American girl group had been before, through the reality TV series Pop Stars, which aired on the now-defunct WB network in late 2000. The show followed hundreds of hopeful young women all fighting for the same dream, a chance to become pop stars. Guided by world-renowned producer David Foster, the competition gradually narrowed down to 5 finalists: Ivette Sosa, Mila Misodnik, Anna Maria Lombo, Nicole Scherzinger, and Rosanna Tavares. Even before the final lineup was announced, the girls were already becoming celebrities. The massive TV exposure caught the attention of Warner Bros. Sire Records, who quickly signed them to a record deal, and with that, Eden's Crush officially came to life. Their debut single, Get Over Yourself, became an instant success. It shot straight to number 1 in Canada and reached number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the United States. Their first album, Pop Stars, continued the momentum. It was certified gold and climbed to number 6 on the Billboard 200. Eden's Crush even landed a guest appearance on the TV series Sabrina the Teenage Witch, playing themselves. In 2001, they joined the tour circuits as an opening act for 2 major pop names, Ines Sink and Jessica Simpson, a huge opportunity for a brand new group. But just as their star was rising, everything came crashing down. In early 2002, their label London, Sire Records, abruptly shut down. Without financial backing or industry support, the group couldn't continue, and Eden's Crush disbanded shortly after. Their time together was brief, but one member, Nicole Scherzinger, went on to become a global superstar as the lead singer of the Pussycat Dolls. Number 12. Debola Morgan. Before her breakout hit Dance With Me lit up the year 2000, Debola Morgan had already spent years carving her space in the music industry. Her journey began in the mid-1990s when she signed her first record deal with Atlantic Records in 1994. Shortly after, she released her debut album Debola, which featured the R&B charting singles Take It Easy and Free, giving listeners an early taste of her smooth, airy vocal style. A few years later, she transitioned to Vaz Motown Records, where she dropped the single Yesterday. The track performed well, becoming a top 30 hit on the R&B charts and even crossing over onto the pop charts, a promising sign that Debola was heading toward bigger opportunities. But when it was time to release her second album, It's Not Over, things took an unexpected turn. The album was released only in Japan and a few international markets, while the US version was shelved indefinitely in 1998. For many artists, that kind of setback could have ended everything, but Debola wasn't quitting. In 2000, she made a powerful return to Atlantic Records. That comeback produced the biggest hit of her career, Dance With Me. With its Latin-inspired rhythm and infectious hook, the song became a massive success, climbing to number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 and landing in the top 5 on the dance charts. Her third album, also titled Dance With Me, followed soon after. It reached number 35 on the Billboard Top Heatseekers. 2 more singles, I Remember and Close to You, were released from the album, though neither matched the impact of her breakthrough hit. After that, Debola gradually stepped out of the mainstream spotlight. In 2005, she signed with the independent label Ransomware Records and released a gospel project titled Light at the End of the Tunnel. Unfortunately, the album had a limited release and never reached streaming platforms. By 2010, her focus had shifted toward faith and ministry. She released a live worship album with her Las Vegas church, where she serves as worship leader. The album, titled Let the Worship in Champions Live 2, showcased a different side of her artistry. In 2012 and 2013, she surprised longtime fans by joining classic R&B group Rolls Royce as their lead vocalist for several live performances. Then in 2015, she reunited with Shanice and collaborated with the group All Four, one on the song Go to Bed from their album 20. Number 13. Joe Public. In the early 1990s, Joe Public emerged from Buffalo, New York, with a fresh blend of R&B, hip-hop, and funk that instantly set them apart. The group consisted of Kevin Scott on lead vocals and bass, Jake Carter handling both keyboards and guitar, Dwight Wyatt on drums, and Joe J.R. Sales as the lead guitarist. Before they became Joe Public, the four men performed under the name Attention, a group signed to Island Records in 1989. After a few years of evolving their sound and identity, they rebranded as Joe Public and released their self-titled debut album under Columbia Records. That decision paid off. The album featured Live and Learn, the song that would define their career, with its catchy hook and soulful rhythmic groove. The track shot up the charts, peaking at number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and becoming their only top 40 hit. They followed it with the single I Miss You, which reached number 55 but didn't match the impact of their breakout success. Joe Public also made history when they became the first R&B group to perform on MTV's Unplugged. During that same episode, they doubled as the backing band for Boyz II Men and Shanice, a rare accomplishment that showcased their versatility as musicians. Their live performance credentials didn't stop there. They also served as the band for Chris Cross during a guest appearance on the Arsenio Hall show, which incidentally marked the first national TV appearance of producer Jermaine Dupri. At the height of their popularity, Joe Public hosted the NBA Jam's music video, a promotional VHS for the video game NBA Jam Tournament Edition. The tape featured their Live and Learn music video, basketball highlights, and exclusive behind-the-scenes clips. In 1994, they returned with their second album, Easy Come, Easy Go, again released through Columbia. But despite their effort, the project didn't replicate the success of their debut. Even as their spotlight faded, Joe Public remained active behind the scenes, writing songs for artists like Keith Sweat, including his 1991 hit Keep It Comin', and later contributing music for Tyrese. Number 14. Lumidee. In 2003, Lumidee burst onto the music scene with a sound that instantly stood out. Her breakout single, Never Leave You, Ooh, became one of the most infectious tracks of the year. The song dominated radio, clubs, and TV countdowns, climbing to number 3 on the US charts and reaching number 2 in the UK. It served as the lead single for her debut album Almost Famous, released on June 24, 2003 under Universal Records. The album went on to sell more than 276,000 copies in the US, but after that explosive moment, the spotlight faded. Instead of chasing mainstream American fame, Lumidee shifted her artistic direction toward reggaeton and dancehall. Her new sound resonated strongly overseas, particularly in Germany, France, Belgium, and the Netherlands, where she built a dedicated international fan base. During this period, she released several mixtapes filled with remixes, freestyles, and new material. She also collaborated with various European acts, gaining success abroad even though many of her original US fans weren't aware of her continued activity. Then, in 2007, Lumidee made a surprising return to the American music market. She released her second album, Unexpected, through TVT Records. In an interview with Vibe, she admitted that signing with TVT shocked many people, including herself. She liked that no one anticipated her comeback, just as no one predicted her first hit. The US single from the album, She's Like the Wind, reached number 43 on the charts. Europe, however, received a different single, Crazy, featuring rapper Pitbull, which performed well in Germany, Austria, and the UK. After that brief return to the spotlight, Lumidee once again stepped away from mainstream attention. Between 2009 and 2012, she kept releasing music through mixtapes, consistently creating even without headlines or chart presence. Her journey may have shifted away from American fame, but Lumidi continued making music on her own terms, proving that success doesn't always follow a single path. Number 15. Anita Ward. Long before her voice lit up dance floors around the world, Anita Ward was living a completely different life in Memphis, Tennessee. She wasn't chasing fame. She was working as a school teacher, planning a quiet and stable future. But everything changed when she was offered the chance to sign a recording contract and step into the studio for the first time. While she was working on her debut album, label owner Frederick Knight handed her a song he had originally written the year before for young singer Stacey Lattisaw. Anita wasn't impressed. The song felt childish, meant for a teen audience, and didn't match the direction she imagined for herself. But Knight insisted she needed a lively, disco-friendly track, something upbeat that could compete with the dominant sound of the late 1970s. So after rewriting the lyrics to make them more mature, she agreed to record it. That song became Ring My Bell. Neither of them expected what came next. The track exploded. In 1979, Ring My Bell shot straight to #1 in the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada, instantly transforming Anita from a school teacher into an international disco star. That same year, she released her debut album Songs of Love, though none of its other tracks matched the explosive success of her breakout hit. Even the single's B-side, Make Believe Lovers, failed to chart. Later in 1979, Anita released her second album, Sweet Surrender. The project included the single Don't Drop My Love, which only reached number 87 on the Billboard Hot 100, a far cry from the massive impact of her first hit. Hoping to keep the momentum going, Anita and her label began working on a third album, but creative disagreements between her and Frederick Knight stalled the project. Only 3 songs were completed before the album was abandoned, and those tracks were later tacked onto low-budget reissues of her debut. Then life threw even more challenges her way. Anita was involved in a serious car accident, and at the same time, disco music was rapidly falling out of fashion in the US without strong industry support, and with the genre's decline, her career began to fade. Soon, she was unfairly labeled a one-hit wonder. In 1989, Anita attempted a comeback with her album Wherever There's Love. It included a song titled Be My Baby, released only in Australia, but it never charted. Not long after, Anita stepped away from the spotlight once again to focus on her family. She welcomed a daughter soon after and chose to devote her time to raising her child. Number 16. Mo Stick and Steph. Before they ever stepped into the spotlight as singers, Mo and Steph were 3 talented dancers from Los Angeles, Monifa, Kenya, and Stephanie, whose group name was formed by blending the first parts of each of their names. In the early 1990s, they could be seen lighting up stages and music videos for several hip-hop artists. Fans might remember them dancing for rapper AMG in Better Have My Money or appearing in Big Daddy Kane's video, This Is for the Lover in You. But the trio wanted more than backup roles. They began training their voices, determined to move from dancers to full-fledged vocal performers. Early on, they connected with a local production company and even secured a management contract, but neither opportunity led to the breakthrough they hoped for. During this time, all 3 juggled college classes and ordinary day jobs while still chasing the dream of becoming recording artists. Their big moment arrived by pure luck. One day, they crossed paths with AMG again, this time at the office of Greedy Greg Jesse and Anthony Lewis, the heads of Outburst Records. AMG and a few local rappers were freestyling when Monifa casually began humming a melody. Her voice instantly caught everyone's attention, and soon all 3 women joined in. Their impromptu performance impressed the label owners so much that Mo and Steph were quickly offered a record deal. In 1995, the group released their breakthrough single He's Mine, taken from their debut album As Is. The track became a major hit, climbing to number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and selling more than 600,000 copies. It was later certified gold. The song stood out thanks to its smooth blend of samples from Zapp's Be Alright and Prince's Do Me Baby, creating a soulful, catchy groove that listeners loved. Moke and Steph had plans for more releases. Their next single was supposed to be Baby Come Close, a cover of a classic track by Smokey Robinson. They also recorded a remix titled I Can't Help It, covering a song by Michael Jackson. Unfortunately, neither track was ever officially released. Number 17, Sunshine Anderson. Before her voice filled radios across America, Sunshine Anderson was an aspiring R&B and soul singer from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Her professional journey began in 1999 when she signed her first deal with Atlantic Records. 2 years later, in April 2001, she released her debut album Your Woman, and it immediately made an impact. The album soared to number 8 on the Billboard 200 and climbed all the way to number 2 on the R&B chart. Its lead single, Heard It All Before, became her signature hit. With its sharp lyrics and soulful groove, the track reached number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100 and peaked at number 3 on the R&B chart. But following that major breakout, momentum began to slow. Her next single, Lunch or Dinner, reached only number 54 on the R&B chart, though the album itself still went gold later that year. In 2004, Sunshine made a big move by signing with Music World Entertainment, the company run by Matthew Knowles, the father of global superstar Beyoncé. Her first single under the new label, Something I Wanna Give You, arrived in 2006 but struggled to gain attention, landing at number 80 on the R&B chart. The following year, she released her second studio album, Sunshine at Midnight. It didn't match the success of her debut, peaking at number 86 on the Billboard 200 and number 16 on the R&B chart. In 2007, she also joined R&B star Brian McKnight on tour, and 2 additional singles, Force of Nature and Wear the Crown, were released that same year. After that, Sunshine stepped out of the mainstream spotlight. In 2010, she posted on Twitter about a new song titled Lie to Kick It. A few months later, on November 2, 2010, she released her third album, The Sun Shines Again, under Verve Forecast Records. So, which of these songs are you vibing with today? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear your pick. And before you go, don't forget to like this video, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Check out our next video for more incredible stories, legends, and moments you won't want to miss.